Good morning, PokeMMO community. How are you guys doing today? What's up? My name's Patrouski. I'm just happy to be here. How are you guys doing? Welcome to another PokeMMO stream recap, your daily source of tips, tricks, information, discussion, and what's happening inside the PokeMMO community. And we have the age-old question from Oscar. Hey, Pat, does Shiny Charm and Donor status actually work? I've been on them all event and before that, and I'm still 58,000 encounters dry on my first Shiny. Firstly, I'm sorry to you. Secondly, keep going, King. I believe in you. Thirdly, that's a rough hunt. Your first hunt going that dry feels really tough. And like, that's the most valid time to ever feel like, oh man, like, is this working? Is Donor status? You know, when you haven't had your first Shiny, there's almost a level of paranoia. And I get it. It's the same thing with old school RuneScape where you're like, how could people ever grind 99s? You know, it sounds unfathomable. And then you do it and you're like, wait a minute, like, I get it, you know? Your first Shiny in PokeMMO is the hardest one, and it really sets the tone of how all your hunts will be in the future. Thank you for the Twitch Prime, Trash Gamer. They definitely work. Shiny Charms, Donor status definitely work, but sometimes anecdotally it can feel rough. Yeah, and sometimes it just things happen. It is what it is. I love showing off the Shiny binomial distribution chart. If you are not aware, it's one of the coolest resources. It's out of my math pay grade, but I can at least explain it to you guys. Excuse me. So this is the odds of what the odds of you to have gotten a Shiny by that point. Your odds of getting a Shiny never go up as you get encounters. That's the first thing to like acknowledge and recite. That is not what this chart is telling you. It's telling you the odds that you would have had to have gotten a Shiny by that point. So keep that in mind. The odds are always 1 in 30,000. No matter how many encounters you have gotten, the odds are always 1 in 30,000. Now, an interesting statistic here is at 30,000 encounters without Donor status, you only have a 63% chance to have gotten a Shiny by that point. I think that's one of the most important metrics to tell people because I'm being a little bit, you know, generous here, but it's about a coin flip to have gotten a Shiny at 30,000 encounters. A lot of people, when they hear the Shiny rate, they expect, oh, I'll get a Shiny around that rate. I'll get a Shiny by that rate for sure. When in reality, it's more of like on average, you'll get most of your Shinies around that rate. But in reality, it's still only a 63%, 60% chance, like once again, almost a coin flip of like having gotten Shiny. Like 40% of your hunts will go dry, right? That's the way to think about it. Almost half of your hunts will go dry. So you've got to just understand that and accept that moving forward very early on in your shunts. However, 58k for your first shunt is a fucking grind, man. Keep it up. There's a big debate of whether it's better or not to go dry versus wet on your first Shiny hunt. It's a really interesting discussion. I went really dry on my shunt, Vershunt infamously. It took me 8 years and 300,000 encounters to get my first Shiny. That's stupid. That's ridiculous. I hope that happens to nobody else ever again, you know, type situation. But what that did was it made every other shunt afterwards feel that much easier. You right now, you're dry. When you do get that Shiny, as long as you keep pushing through, every other shunt afterwards, in my opinion, from my experience, will feel so much easier. Everything's gonna feel like a cakewalk after that first dry shunt. It's almost it's like a blessing and a curse. Like when you go wet on your first shunts, the shunts later on when you go dry, I've seen so many people get lucky or wet on their first 3 to 5 shunts and then go dry and they just quit the game because their mental is not used to it. And you can't even blame them. It's not their fault. Like, it's just the journey that they took. Everybody's Shiny hunting journey is different, and it all comes down to eventually, if you shunt long enough, you will have dry streaks, and if you shunt long enough, you will have wet streaks. Shiny hunting RNG will even out long term. You have to just stick to it, and shunting is a activity that's all about perseverance and endurance and sticking through. That's all it is. Yeah, Shiny hunting is basically character building and basically endurance. That's all it is, you know. Anyways, great question, great talking point. Let's jump into the daily PokeMMO catch events and things like that. I actually have a little resource up here. I'll show you in a quick sec. But first things first, the art contest in PokeMMO is coming to an end. I think it actually has ended, and they're judging right now. But I wanted to show off this really specific piece from Pokeo. I thought it was really beautiful. You guys are so fucking talented. I suck something at art. I'm really bad at anything where my hand touches a pencil or a mouse to draw. My brain implodes. I'm terrible at it, and this is so fucking cool to me that someone could create this like video this interactive video, beautiful piece of art. This is one of my favorite ones. I thought it was so fucking cool. The Delibird in the window, the Snover sleeping under the tree, the light effects from the lit wick. I can't even begin to imagine what this takes. I thought it was really cool. So shout out to PokeMMO. Really beautiful piece of art. At least it stood out to me. I thought it was really cool, man. Next up, we do have one catch event. Only one catch event scheduled so far. If you don't know, there's usually about 3 to 5 catch events a week scheduled in PokeMMO. I would say 3 to 4. Let's say 3 to 4 catch events a week, where you could win a shiny Pokemon, shiny prize, or just 6 times 31 or Pokemon or the premium currency, the reward points. So for this event, it's on the 8th of January, Thursday coming up. This is the one day after the event. We'll talk about that in a quick sec. This is the 8th of January, 2026. It's actually, to be fair, it's actually on the 7th at 7 p.m. I think this event, I think that this event actually begins when the Xmas event ends, like either on the same hour or 1 hour before. So keep that in mind. We'll talk about that in a quick sec. Actually, we'll talk about it now. Fuck it. The Xmas event is coming to an end way sooner than I realized. Look at the timer. 1 day and 7 hours. I thought today was day 13 out of 15. No, today is day 13 out of 14 is the actual. I need to check my. That's the actual math. Tomorrow is the final day. Tomorrow's the final day. The event ends tomorrow at around 7 or 8 p.m. ET. If you're watching this stream recap on the day it released, the Christmas event comes to a close tonight. So make sure you get everything you need to done. I need to be doing the scavenger hunt, the Starmie scavenger hunt today. Yeah, it is the dawn of the last day. Exactly. But back to the catch event. You have 1 hour to catch Ghastly, Haunter, and Zubat over at Lavender Tower in Kanto. And the prize is a shiny Ghastly or Gengar. Make sure to pick the one you want. If you want to go Ghastly, it's going to stay a Ghastly or Haunter forever. You can never evolve it into Gengar because it is a gift Pokemon. If you pick Gengar, you can't breed it back down. It's a gift Pokemon, so it'll stay a shiny Gengar forever. So please be careful and pick the one that you actually want to keep forever. Next up, Quacks, who's a very valued, like very OG member of the PokeMMO community, who's been helping with finance at like PokeMMO Finance, and I think he was the guy who used to manually track like price items, if I recall correctly. He's been a huge asset to the community for many years, from what I've witnessed, just as a third. I don't know him personally, just as a third-person observer on the forums. Really helpful guy to the community. I want to shout that out first. But then he's been doing this unofficial dry streak existence thread, and he has been keeping track of who has been going the driest this year and this past year on their shiny hunts. And it's really cool to see this unofficial like leaderboard. I think leaderboards are one of the coolest things we could see in PokeMMO. I would love to see more official leaderboards added to the game. I think it's one of the coolest things that every MMO should basically have. And what's even cooler is that Bearminator a few months back said that he would give the top three driest players by the end of the year a 30-day donor status. 3 players all getting a 30-day donor status. And currently, I believe this is the final rankings. We'll have to double check, but I believe this should be the final winners. I could be wrong. TTV, I'm assuming Twitch.tv, Lil Lamb, congratulations. I think this was the Smeargle guy, right? The guy who went 246,000 encounters drive for that shiny Smeargle. Congratulations, man. You earned yourself a 30-day donor status. You probably, and more, hopefully, man. Congratulations. And then Woohum, 224,000 encounters dry, and Achutar, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering this. I'll tell you Achu if you don't mind. Achu, 222,000 encounters dry. Congratulations. Look at all these guys who just went super fucking dry. I mean, you got to appreciate, you got to respect the shunts. Like, these are tough shunts. And if we actually go up and we scroll over to the final page, Bearminator did comment on this, being like, hey guys, don't worry, I'm still keeping tabs on this. He even left a little bit of a bear pun. He said, hey guys, I'll tackle the thread and check stuff tomorrow. Bear with me until then. Of course, Bearminator. Of course, man. Thanks to him for like throwing up this extra prize, right? And then next up, we have the Starmie scavenger hunt resource. It's a little bit late to shout this out, so my apologies, but it's all in my Discord. Shout out to my Discord. Shout out to Xanarchy, Mercus, Super World Sun, all the people in my Discord who are just putting in crazy work. Check out the Discord. Shout out to my moderators who like make that place run the way it does, right? Really cool resources here. This is just to help you guys with the Starmie scavenger hunt. I'll be using this today, which is why I'm talking about it. I'll be using this today to do my Starmie scavenger hunt. This is a pinned document under the Starmie locations chat in my Christmas event section in my Discord. All right, so that is all the event stuff. Next up, we do have the community showcase Let's go ahead and talk about it. First things first, Dracopius, I like the name, Dracopius got his first shiny ever in PokeMMO while EV training. I think it's the best way to go about getting your first shiny. A really cool one, 2x31, shiny Nidorino. Congratulations, man, 15,000 encounters, a fantastic way for a newer player to get their first shiny. Congratulations, Dracopius. Next up, another first shiny in PokeMMO. We have a lot of new players in PokeMMO, a lot of first shinies. Your first shiny is a very, very special feeling, a very different thing than the rest of your hunts will ever be. Not really better or worse, but just like different, you know. Shiny Hypno over to Aram. I think he was looking, he said he was looking for Zapdos. It just happened to get a shiny, which is much better than Zapdos. Obviously, good luck on your Zapdos hunt. I hope you get it before the year. I think you have plenty of days left, so hopefully you get it before the end of the month, but you shouldn't need that luck from me, thankfully. Congrats on the shiny Hypno, dude. Really fucking cool Pokemon. That's also a great one to get at that spot over in, I think he was in not Pattern, but Berry Forest, I believe, with like the execute and stuff encounters. Next up, I love this guy for just like, I can't even comment or explain this. Oh, I cut out his, one sec. His name got cut out. Let me go fetch his name so I can give him proper credit. Give me 1 second. Fuck it, we do it live. Sometimes if I have OBS open, it just cuts out people's names because it's like some streamer mode. So yeah, Gim28, GIM28. I didn't cut out your name on purpose. I'm so sorry. Gim28 left his shiny log for us to look at. 110,000 encounters dry for a shiny Murkrow, and then immediately his shiny RNG evened out, and he got 2 back-to-back secrets. Not only did he get 2 back-to-back secrets, he got them at under 1,000 encounters apiece. One at 968, one at 665. Also, he was probably fishing, because these are obviously like fishing Pokemon, right? For those who don't know, secret shinies are there's a 1 in 16 chance for you to get a secret shiny every, like, 1 in 16 shinies. But you can only get them via like single encounter. Yeah, most people will never get a secret shiny. Think of it like this. If you don't shunt at least 16 single encounter shinies, single encounter fishing, or not non-sweet scented shinies, you are likely to never see a secret shiny. Most people will never get a secret shiny in their career. They're just so fucking rare, right? I'm lucky to have 1 on the main account, you know? Getting 2 back-to-back like this is insane, but it's also a beautiful moment of RNG evening out, dude. I think it's super sick, man. Congratulations to Gim28. Next up, one of my personal favorite achievements on this list. I have an attachment to this account style. I played it on old school RuneScape. I know, weird flex. I was the 74th person in the world to match an Ultimate Iron Man. I know, cringe. Not even 73, not even Bodhi numbers. Smork. I know, okay? UIM Gino managed to complete all 5 regions of PokeMMO on an Ultimate Iron Man. Now that means no trading, no GTL, more importantly, no withdrawing Pokemon from the PC. That means that if he ever wants to add, or they ever want to add a new Pokemon to their party, they have to release one of their Pokemon. They have to like throw it in the PC and release it, and it's like destroyed. You can only ever own 6 Pokemon at once with this kind of play style. Now, I don't know, there might be some exceptions, like for in the Ultimate Iron Man and Old School RuneScape, you can like bank things in certain ways via like bosses. I wonder if this person is able to abuse like the daycares. The daycares might be one of the best ways to actually like store a few Pokemon, but even then, you can only store 2 Pokemon. You can store a maximum of 10 Pokemon. I guess there's 2 daycares in Kanto, right? You could technically store 12 Pokemon on an Ultimate Iron Man and have 6, so you can have like 18 Mons in total. I don't know if there's any other storage. That might be enough to do raids. That's the other thing, is like, yeah. No, yeah. Oh, Park. Yes. Park brings up a fantastic point, and I think you're 100% correct. You have to make a new... maybe he was able to store Mons in the daycare, but like you on an Ultimate Iron Man account, when you go to or any account, when you go to a new region in PokeMMO, all of your Pokemon get sent to your PC. When that happens on an Ultimate Iron Man, all of those Pokemon get destroyed and deleted. You can't use them anymore. They've hit your PC. Like, there are so many crazy, interesting... It's ruthless. Playing an Ultimate Iron Man in any game mode is ruthless. And I thought this was such an impressive achievement. I would love to hear more about your journey, Gino. If you have like YouTube videos or like I would love to learn more about the PokeMMO UIM, because I think it's such an interesting premise, man. Congratulations on getting all 5 regions done. It's just such a fucking cool achievement to me. Next up, this was like less of a achievement and more of just like a really wholesome, sweet, good PvP question that I'm sure a lot of like beginners getting into PvP don't know. It's really hard to get into PvP in PokeMMO, and people aren't always as welcoming as they should be. It depends. Like, I think people are pretty nice if you're not playing against them in PvP. But I thought this was a really good question. It brings up a Pokemon that I love. Someone said, why is Timid Starmie with analytic, it's hidden ability access, with analytic the top usage in PvP? This is a great question, because you look at PvP, you look at those two things, right? You look at Starmie, and you're like, analytic is a ability that boosts the move power when the Pokemon moves last. I think either 1.5s or 2 times the damage. It's a huge damage buff, right? Why would you want to be a fast Starmie but go analytic? And Egg Roll Noodle, helpful PvP player, shout out to them, says analytic works on switch out. So if you bring in Starmie to, like, let's say you bring in Starmie against, you know, what's a good example? Like bring in Starmie against like a Dragonite without D-Dance up, right? Your Ice Beam outspeeds and you're gonna one-shot that Dragonite, right? Now that player, your enemy has to decide, do I just let Dragonite die, or do I switch something else into the Starmie and have to tank an analytic attack, which will most likely just kill like a lot of mons, right? So analytic triggers on switch out. It's just like the last mon to attack in that turn or whatever. I love analytic. I think it's one of my favorite abilities in Pokemon. I think analytic Starmie is really cool. I love analytic Magnezone. I'm a huge fan of things like that. So I wanted to shout this out. It's a great question that highlights a great move, and it also shows a really good interaction from a newer player getting into PvP, and then another helpful player being helpful. So shout out to Egg Roll Noodle and the player for asking. I'm sure a lot of other people like want to ask similar questions, and don't ever be afraid to ask questions about PvP or any questions in my Discord. And if you're ever made to feel afraid to ask questions, let me know, and we'll talk. We'll try to handle it. I'll try to make it up to you. Okay. Thank you guys for watching the stream recap today. Let's go ahead and actually jump into the gameplay. My main focus today on the Armored account is the Starmie Scavenger hunt. Let's see how that goes. If you enjoyed today's video, it is so helpful and so important, especially at the beginning of the year when algorithms always have like a mini reset on YouTube, as well as, if you don't know, January and February, this is like kind of behind the scenes stuff, but January and February, CPMs drop for content creators since advertisers and businesses just spent a bunch of money in November and December trying to get people to buy stuff for Christmas, right? It's like marketing, right? Yeah, right. So CPMs drop for content creators. That means that all of your favorite content creators, not just me, I want to say this for everybody, all of your favorite content creators make a lot less money, like 40% less, I'd say on average, 30 to 50% less in January and February. So if you have any content creators you want to support, not just me, other Spidget, Epoch, your favorite PokeMMO content creators, it's the best time to support them is during January, February. So I wanted to just say that, shout it out. Don't feel guilted into it. Most of the time, the problem is people are also saving their own money post-Christmas. So prioritize yourself, please. But if you have the funds, if you can afford it, and I've helped you enough, or people have helped you enough in their journey, make sure to give back to the creators that you like watching their content. Let's go ahead and jump into it, though, and actually hopefully provide you guys some content today and get some interesting questions and play the game that we all fucking love so much. Someone just said, what would you recommend to someone who hasn't played the event until today? Great question, and there's still tons of stuff you can do. If you have not played the event until today, fuck raids. Don't worry about raids. I think raids are something you do if you prepare ahead of time. Even if it was like day one of the event and you're like, yeah, I didn't prepare any raid mons, should I do raids? I'd probably be like, no. That's the end game stuff. What I would recommend is go farm swarm Pokemon and turn them in for mysterious balls, number one. So go farm whatever these elf bots are asking for. Go try to farm them and try to farm as many swarm ones as possible. Turn those in for mysterious balls, as well as presents. There's 2 chats in my Discord: lost present callouts and swarm callouts. If you are a newer player or a player who was busy, so many people have just been busy IRL. It's the holiday. It's like the peak holidays, the winter holidays. Everybody's celebrating something. So many people have been busy. If you've been busy, if IRL had you by the fucking vice grip and you're just coming back, don't worry. There's still things you can do. You want to go farm mysterious balls, and you want to go farm swarms. You turn in for mysterious balls, and then lost presents you turn in for other presents like Santa presents, X presents, etc., etc. So you can still make some decent Pokeyen by doing those things. You also might want to make some investments or buy whatever vanities that you're interested in around this time, but that is up to you. If you're good at PvP, one of my favorite things about this has only been the case for the last 2 events, and I feel like people are sleeping on this so hard, that PvP is one of the best money-making methods in the events. Is insane. This has only been the case for Halloween and for Xmas. It's a huge new thing in PokeMMO. The fact that you can actually play PvP to make any money, the fact that you can play PvP at all during the events and not fall behind is craziness. That's a huge update, and it's a really fun game mode. I've really enjoyed my journey. Definitely, if you're good at PvP, you like PvP, or you want to just check it out. If you I would, at least before the event ends, I would try to play a few games of this. It's so fun. It's so interesting. It's a little tough. I had to learn those. That was hard for me to learn, but this is a huge development in PokeMMO. I think one of the coolest parts, or one of the most important parts of any MMO, is players being able to play the game the way that they want to and still get rewarded for it. I don't think that PVMers, PvPers, or like shiny hunters should be like rewarded more than the other. Unless it's like a designated activity. Like PvPers should get rewarded more for being good at PvP. Shunners rewarded more for being good at shunning. PV, you know, et cetera, right? But it's really cool that PvPers can play the event now in a way that they find hopefully enjoyable. Oh, I see what you're saying. Someone said, can you win the big package on casual randoms at this match? Quick little tip. This sounds mean, but like never ever, in my opinion, I could be wrong. Maybe the PvPers will know better than me. Never ever queue up for casual anything in PokeMMO. In my opinion, it's just not worth it. You don't get rewards. You don't get. There's just no reason. Don't be afraid of the ranked status in PokeMMO. Your season resets every so often anyway. I think the only way you're going to learn and the only way you're going to get rewards is by playing ranked. Most people just don't even queue up for cat. I don't even know if you could find a game. I don't know how many. Like, I feel like it would have to be people who are like really outside of the space who just don't know any better. Like, I would never queue up for casual, in my opinion. I think it's just, even if you're new to PvP, which sounds weird, right? That sounds strange, but people just don't queue for casual. Number one, and then number two, you just don't get rewards. There's no punishment. Like, don't be afraid of your elo dropping. Let me try to find it. Like I've had seasons of PvP. Like this, you know, this was a learning season for me in a lot of ways. And it's just better to just tank. It's okay. You know, it's okay. If you have a 30%, 40% win rate in randoms PvP, that doesn't mean, who cares? Number one, get those rewards, king, you know? Number two, one of the coolest things, every PvP player knows this, one of the coolest things is to actually see your progress. You don't want to, like, it's cooler, in my opinion, to see a PvP player who starts at a 25% win rate and see, like, let's say in season 20 of randoms, you have a 25% win rate. You know, you played 50 games, you tried your best, you were learning. It is what it is. And then in season 21, you go from a 25% win rate to like a 35. And then the next season, 45. Next season, 55, 60. Like, if we can see that progress of you going from a 25, just stick with it, from 25% up to like above 50% or even around 50% win rate, like, that is progress. That's what PvP is all about, is improving. And I feel like just keeping your genuine progress logged is better than trying to like hide from it, I guess, and playing casuals. It's just not worth it. It's just not, in my opinion. Do whatever's best for you at the end of the day, but I wouldn't queue for casuals personally. I would always just queue for ranked, and just don't stress about it. It's easy to say versus do, right? Just don't stress about the elo. It's not a big deal in PokeMMO, in my opinion. Someone asked, will good Pokemon prices go down once the Xmas event ends? It's one of those things, like, I don't have a strong conviction on it either way. I want to be honest. My prediction is, this is not like, you know, I'm not like super confident of this prediction. I would say maybe a little bit, maybe a bit, because demand is no longer there. Did I crit this and kill this? Fuck. Because the demand is that a crit or is high roll? Damn it, whatever. Because the demand is no longer there, because raids are gone, that means there's less of a demand for good IV Pokemon, and because people finally have a second to actually dump all their mysterious balls, all of their like alphas they caught during the event, like, people have time to like organize their stuff. Yes, it wouldn't surprise me if good IV Pokemon drop a little bit more, even, and good IV Mons are already so cheap. It wouldn't surprise me if Mons drop a bit in price throughout after the event is over. But it's gonna be like a huge enough drop to where you should like plan around it. I don't know. That's a tough thing to guess. No, I agree. Gangren, that's like the better side of it is like, hey Patrouski, when do you think Pokemon prices will go up again? And I don't see that happening anytime soon unless we see a market change or the Lunar event. So like that's the more interesting question in my opinion, is like, when will prices go up versus like, will they go down even more? Because there's just so good IV Mons. It's never been a better, that's like the opposite swing. Yes, the market is considered bad because Pokemon aren't worth a whole lot, which I think is a problem. I'd love to see it fixed. We talk about it every day at this point. The other positive, look at this cheap shitto. The other positive side is, dude, if you want a competitive Starmie, right? look how cheap these are. If you want a competitive Starmie, if you want a competitive any Pokemon, it's never been cheaper. Like a 2x31 Staryu is 15k in the most important stats on that Pokemon. Are you kidding me? This used to be a 40 to 50, 60,000 Pokeyen Pokemon. This used to be 40 to 60k. Now it's 15k. Like Pokemon prices are insanely cheap. And the twist of that is, if you've ever wanted to build a PvP team, if you've ever wanted to build a PVM team, raids, utility Pokemon, it's never been a better time to buy and build and breed up Pokemon for yourself, for your own account progress. It's harder to make Pokeyen, but it's really good for account progress. When is the Lunar New Year event? Great question. Usually events always drop on the holiday itself. If I Google, when is Lunar New Year 2026, that would give us our answer around February 17th. It may not be exactly on that, but usually the events are usually on around that day. February 17th is the thing to look out for. Great question. Yo, Pat, what do you think the new Shunting Method the devs mentioned might be? I have no fucking idea. People talked about that a while back. For those who don't know, the devs teased the idea of a new Shunting Method like 6 months ago. This is a while ago now. And it hasn't come to the game yet. I have no idea. I genuinely no idea what that could be. I have no clue. I think this is a really good, I think a lot of PokeMMO players have a hard time or like are too harsh or mean, in my opinion, when it comes to critiquing the devs. And it comes down to like, I think one of the most based positions is disagreeing with the prioritization the devs take. Everything comes down to time and energy, right? The devs are working. I think people will see like, oh, Sinnoh Underground hasn't been implemented. Oh, the devs must not be working, right? Well, no, that's like something you care about, but it's not something that they have cared about over the past 5 years. I think it's super based to be like, I think it's super based and valid to be like, I love the Sinnoh Underground. Why is it not in the game? It'd be a super fun mini game. It'd be really good for fossil farming. It would be like, we could make it balanced in a certain way. Like that's incredibly based, right? Incredibly based position. And you could argue like the devs haven't prioritized that quickly enough. They shouldn't. Like, who cares about incubators? Who cares about chum buckets? Who cares about all these other activities? I think they should prioritize this. I think that's based, but I think often people view it as like objective, as like, because I like the Sinnoh Underground, it's of course the most important update in the game, and therefore the devs they're stupid for not doing this. And I don't understand. Why would they work on Johto but not add the Underground? Blah blah blah. Like, you gotta understand. It's okay to like disagree, and it's okay to have problems with the devs, but you've got to understand them. If you don't understand your opposition, there's no discussion to be had. You know, if you don't understand how they got there, you can understand and then disagree with the conclusion. But if you don't understand how they got there, that's what worries me. I see a fair bit in discussion in terms of PokeMMO. I kind of agree, Mastermind. Devs just need to nerf alphas and we're good for a long time. I don't think PokeMMO needs a lot of updates. I think the game is like really, I think a lot of the controversies over the past year have been to too many updates and have been to too many changes that have affected the game and affected the economy. That might be a really hot take, but I think the game is good. The game is good. The sandbox they have set up is good. And I think that I'm bad at the game because there's no room left in my PC for this alpha catch. Are you fucking kidding me? Never mind. My opinion does not matter. I'm dog shit at the game. Fuck. Bro, I swear, I don't know if people are standing here on purpose. There are tons of people with purple vanities sitting at these trees. I don't know. It's really funny. I don't think it's on purpose. I think that they're just doing the hunt and like have the Starmie hat, but like this is happening like all over PokeMMO in like every tree, man. Wait, someone told me to press C. Wait, look at my wait, why do I have fucking chicken legs? These are like baby chick. These are like pigeon legs. What is going on, bro? Why? We need like a thick calf or like some sort of thigh update. We need a new vanity visual update for that. Like that's crazy. Someone said, hey guys, does walking alone with Soothe Bell, will that do enough to evolve Golbat? Great question. In my opinion, no. It's like a really, really long time. If you don't know, you can actually, to raise your Pokemon's happiness, so Golbat is a happiness Evo, so you need a certain amount of happiness to evolve it into a Crobat. The problem is, you do gain a small amount of happiness by just walking around with it as your follower sprite actually in Pokemon. So if you like drag this Parasect out, it will slowly gain happiness. If it's not 100%, it's probably not 100%. It would slowly gain happiness. The problem is that's really, really slow. I don't know how exactly slow it is, but it's very, very, very slow. I would recommend either leveling your Golbat or Crobat, or you can actually go buy berries specifically depending on its nature. Its nature depends on the berries you need to raise its happiness. If you Google PokeMMO happiness guide, I also have a guide on YouTube about it from a few years ago, but it still should be super accurate. And there's tons of like little things you can do to raise your happiness in PokeMMO, like going and talking to Gary Oak's sister once a day in game, and she'll raise your happiness for free for like 50% or so on a Pokemon. So check out those resources. Great question, glad you asked. Good luck to you. Yeah, someone said, bro, you aren't even halfway done. What the fuck is this grind? I do think I did this incredibly inefficiently, and it's been fun, but it is time consuming. Some of these are, if you get stuck on one, it just like insanely adds how long it's gonna take. Someone said you spent like 10 minutes per Starmie. That can't be right. Don't tell me that. Is that counting the AFK break? So that means it's gonna take like 500 minutes to do the hunt. That's no, I gotta lock in. There's no way this takes me 8 hours. I gotta lock in. I'm not, there's no way. I have to lock in. There's no way. The Starmie hunt cannot be this long. That's not even my brain cannot be this slow. There's no way. Dude, I'm being like strategically, organizedly trolled. Look at this guy is like fucking playing this game for fucking 20 years. Look at him. And look. Wait, okay, I'm seeing things. There was just someone else here. Dude, they're literally like systematically trolling me. They're like going to every location they can. It's so good. Look, it's the next spot. Look, it's him. What bro, go play the game. Go shiny hunt. What are you doing? Alrighty, fellas. This was a long one today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like this stream if you did. Dislike if not. Subscribe on YouTube for daily Pokemon videos. I do upload every single day. Follow me on Twitch for streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord's down below if you're interested in that, and if you want to go above and beyond and support the content, YouTube membership, Twitch Prime, Twitch subs, and PayPal and Venmo do help out a lot. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys later. Have a great day, and for now, peace, Reno. I will see you guys tomorrow for the final day of the Xmas event in 2025 within PokeMMO. I'll see you guys then, but for now, peace, Reno. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here. I wanted to take this second to say thank you so much for watching the entire video. It is thanks to people like you I'm able to make the content that I do, as well as everybody whose name is listed here. That's it for me. Have a fantastic day.